judge in the criminal hush money trial of former President Donald Trump is rolling back parts of a gag order imposed before the trial. Trump can now publicly talk about witnesses like Michael Cohen and Stormy Daniels. So let's bring in CNN's Bryn Gingras to talk a little bit about this. We have a response now from the Trump campaign. Bryn, what are they saying?
Yeah, I mean, Brianna, they're saying they're still going to fight it. Let's first talk about what this order does and does not do. You just mentioned the big one there. What this allows is Trump now can speak about those witnesses who testified in his trial, particularly people like Michael Cohen, as you just mentioned. If you remember, during that trial, Trump and his team were railing against the fact that they felt this was stifling their campaign, that they couldn't respond to any attacks that were appearing on Twitter from witnesses like Michael Cohen. So this gag order rolling back just a little bit does give the Trump camp a little bit more leeway. What it does not allow him to do, according to this judge, is to speak ill or say anything about the prosecutors in this case. Any jurors' names cannot be released. Trump cannot talk about any of the lawyers' family or court staff. And the judge, Juan Merchan, essentially saying that is because he still needs to protect these people ahead of the sentencing, saying this court process, when it comes to that New York trial, is not over yet. He said that he wants them to feel free to do their jobs without threats, intimidation, harassment, and harm. But again, like I said, Trump is still going after this ruling, essentially releasing a statement to CNN saying this is another unlawful decision by a highly conflicted judge, which is blatantly un-American as it gags President Trump, the leading candidate in the 2024 presidential election, during the upcoming presidential debate on Thursday. President Trump and his legal team will immediately challenge today's unconstitutional order. And just a little backstory, if you remember, of course, is that this gag order was put in place in April ahead of the criminal trial. The judge worried that anything Trump would have said could have really derailed that trial. And then, of course, we know that during the trial, the former president violating it 10 times at one point, even being threatened by the judge to go to jail for all of those violations. But again, it looks like they're going to continue to fight even what is left of it ahead of that sentencing on July 11th. Brianna.
All right, we'll be looking for more then. Bryn Gingras, thank you for that.
All right.
Happening now, a court hearing where Donald Trump's lawyers are making their latest attempt to get the classified documents case against him thrown out. Let's get right to CNN Chief Legal Affairs Correspondent Paula Reed for the latest. And Paula, there's some new reporting about Trump's attorneys focusing on the warrant that the FBI used to search Mar-a-Lago.
That's right, Boris. We're just getting our first update from our colleagues who are inside court, and they say that defense attorneys are trying to attack the legitimacy of the search warrant that was executed on Mar-a-Lago, arguing that it was not specific enough. Now, today is day 3 of 3 days of hearings down in Florida. And today, defense attorneys overall, they are focused on trying to prevent prosecutors from being able to use certain pieces of evidence against their client in an eventual trial. Now, in addition to trying to get some of the classified materials that were obtained thrown out, arguing that the search warrant was not legitimate, they're also trying to prevent prosecutors from being able to use transcripts of voice memos from Trump's former lawyer, Evan Corcoran. Now, that is critical evidence because that is key evidence to support a charge of obstruction. Now, as we know, Boris, the Trump defense attorneys, they are throwing everything at the wall down there in Florida to try to undermine this case, or at the very least get it delayed. And here you see Judge Aileen Cannon. She is entertaining some efforts that other judges may not take the time and resources to even hear in a formal hearing setting. So she is definitely more indulgent in at least hearing the defense attorney's arguments, even though she doesn't always rule in their favor.
All right, we'll keep an eye on what's happening in Fort Pierce. Paula Reed, thank you so much.